There's a study out now that confirms what a lot of us are quietly feeling, that AI tools don't reduce our work, that AI tools only intensify it, and that, in the beginning, we were all thinking, oh, damn, now we're going to work less because AI tools are going to replace a lot of routine tasks. This is not what's happening. So, what happens with working with AI tools is that you work faster, you take on more, you work longer hours, and nobody even asks you to do that. And I think that we need to talk about why that's happening and what we can actually do about it. And to be honest with you, I binge on Claude output like a junkie. So on a bad day, I binge on Netflix, but then Netflix is very easy to cancel. But Claude, for example, I really have a lot of super helpful stuff there that makes me faster. So it's way harder to drop, and I don't think that I ever will. So with Netflix, I feel guilty. I cancel it. And with Claude, I feel productive. Like I'm doing something important. I'm moving fast. I'm building, except not really, not always. Sometimes I'm just feeding the loop. Open Claude, get output, dopamine hit, open Claude again. And then it's 11 p.m. and I'm just quickly brainstorming something else. And I'm a founder, right? So I set my own hours and I really can't stop. I need to watch myself. And so if you're an employee and your company just handed you a stack of AI tools and said, be more efficient, I want you to understand what you're actually dealing with here. So a recent study, I'm going to link that, tracked how generative AI changed work habits. And what they found is the following. Employees worked at a faster pace. They took on broader scope of tasks. So researchers did some coding, designers did some coding, and then engineers actually had to deal with that vibe coding chaos. And also, work was extended into more hours of the day without being asked, without being paid for. And this last part is very important. Nobody told them to do more, but the tool just made it possible. And, humans being humans, we fill the space, right? So for companies, it looks great short term, more output, same headcount, but the researchers flag that what comes next is obviously fatigue, burnout, and impacted decision making. And the dark joke that me and my friends are making is that companies burn out one batch of employees, lay them off, hire back the previously laid off batch who are now recovered, and they burn them out, and then you repeat the cycle as a company. Yeah, it's a very dark joke. It's not efficient either, but this is where we might be heading if we don't watch out for ourselves and the companies don't integrate certain AI practices. So the trap is that those tools, they feel like help, and they mostly are. And when output appears in front of you, like text and images, plan, draft, your brain registers progress, dopamine. So you want more. You prompt once again to get more output. And it's the same mechanism as social media, except you also feel virtuous about it because you're being so productive and doing stuff at work or not at work. And the article I read called the needing of stuff like AI practice. And it kind of sounds like very general, very normal mindfulness set of practice rules. It's a set of norms around how you use these tools. And I think that's exactly right because most of us have no norms. We just, work too much without breaks. And we let AI tools outcomes regulate when we work, and we just use it whenever, however, as much as the task seems to require. And the tasks, they always seem to require more. And here's what I'm actually trying to do about it. Three things also in the article that I'm going to link: intentional breaks, intentional pauses. So before you open the tool, you can ask, what am I actually trying to figure out right now? Write it down in one sentence. And if you can't, you're not ready to prompt yet. You're just reaching out for the dopamine. This sounds small, but it's not. It's the difference between using the tool and being used by it. Second thing that you could apply would be sequencing. So you work in phases. And so you think first, and then you use the tool to pressure text or expand or whatever it is you need to do. Don't let the appearance of output set the pace of your thinking. So don't be controlled by the time when the outcome actually arrives. And what I've noticed is that when I write a lot, first, like I write a shitty first draft, messy, imperfect, and then bring it to AI to find patterns or inconsistencies. I would never post something that has been written by AI, but I do use it to find some inconsistencies to see where are some patterns in my writings for me to understand because I don't see the full picture sometimes, I'm human. And the thinking always happens before the tool touched it. And when I skip that step, the output looked good, but very hollow, and I know it. And so, honestly, if it's about writing as a creative practice, I don't use AI. I just ask it, okay, where did I make mistakes? Otherwise, no AI for me. The third thing is about human grounding. Yes, being social, it's still relevant, as relevant as ever. It's very underrated. At some point in your day, you need a conversation that the AI was not a part of. Not because AI is bad, but because human connection is extremely important and it recalibrates something that working alone with a tool cannot. Call someone, meet someone, have a disagreement with a real person. Sounds obvious, but AI is it's so easy for you to just crawl back into your cave and work alone, and AI is really great for that. Now, when you're in a deep flow with an AI tool at 11 p.m., it's not obvious at all that you need to cut the scrap and talk to a messy human and exchange opinions. So I'm not sure if companies are going to implement those AI practice anytime soon. I hope they will. The incentive isn't really there. Speed is great. Everybody's overworked and they now can work even more and they can lay off more. Speed is the competitive edge right now, but you don't have to wait for permission. It's up to you. If you're a founder, even more so, you can decide when you open the tool, you can decide what you bring to it before you open it. You can decide when you close it. The tool is not going anywhere and it's useful. Yeah, I'm not pretending otherwise, but it works best when you do the driving. And right now, a lot of us are being driven by it. And so that's worth paying attention to.